Hello everybody, Hellcrex here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 359. And today we're going to be talking about the Centipede Scout Car. 20 tons, has an internal combustion engine, and it moves 812, so it's a fast little bugger for a little 20-ton little vehicle. It has, 3 heat sinks. Yep. 3 heat sinks. We got some tonnage wrapped up in heat sinks. And we have 3.5 tons of armor for 56 points. And some, well, it's got a halfway decent amount just to keep the crew from falling out of it. And then we have got a medium laser on the front slope. All right. And that's why you got 3 heat sinks. Internal combustion engine. Well, obviously, if this had a fusion reactor and you had a medium laser on board, you'd have 3 extra tons to play with. But you don't yet. All right, then we have a vehicle flamer in the rear for 1/2 ton, plus 1 ton of ammunition to go with it for 20 shots, which is more than enough. And then we have a Beagle probe. Yes, a Beagle active probe in the body. So basically, yeah, it stands to reason a scout car should have a Beagle probe on board. So, yeah, that works out pretty decently. It's like you look at something, it's got some good speed, being that it's a hovercraft, get around pretty quickly, spot a few things here and there, and then you have a couple weapons to, well, do a little bit of damage if you have to. Preferably not have to do any damage, but if you do. Basically, weapon systems, you got the medium laser on the front, so you kind of sort of acts like a Savannah Master in a way. Kind of point and shoot. And then as you're doing the drive-by, you can shoot out the rear, out to 3 hexes with the flamer, and do a parting shot if you have to. And if you're going through infantry or anything of that nature, yeah, you could make them do the Bernie dance, which is good. Keep them on their toes or running around as they're going, we're on fire. So that's the useful thing about it. And with the Beagle probe, obviously, you can find hidden vehicles, mechs, etc. Identify some targets here and there and make yourself useful. Hence the name Scout Car. So, yeah, it's not bad. And it comes in a battle value of, what is it? The battle value of this thing is like 3 or 4. I gotta take a look here real quick. Battle value is, no, it's 270. Yeah, so it's pretty cheap. It's like the same value as you're gonna look at a Savannah Master. So, kind of nice. You can shoehorn a few of these things in into your lineup if you have the space for a couple. Make yourself useful. And that's pretty much how you're going to be looking at this thing. You can be going up and down the flanks pretty quickly, or you're running these out in front with maybe your other vehicles, the other hovercraft, trying to find some hidden targets that your follow-on force could be able to engage. So that's pretty much, if you lose one of these, it's not like you're losing a lot of battle value in one shot. So, 270 battle value, it's like you can field a bunch of these for the cost of, let's say, a typical mech of the Succession Wars. So if you lose 1 or 2, you don't feel too bad about it. All right. Now, there are a couple other versions of this vehicle, which give you some interesting changes or aspects to it. All right, so we got the tag version. All right, so you replace the, this came out in 3067. This version replaces the medium laser for a tag system. Okay, So you're shooting out to 15 with that thing during the movement phase, and allowing you to hit targets, you know, with your follow-on support weapon systems, which is nice. This comes in at 325 battle value, and it also has, since you got rid of the medium laser, you're gaining 3 tons. It also has more armor and Guardian ECM. So now you got Beagle, Guardian ECM, and a little bit more armor to be keep yourself from being shot up, or basically staying the being useful for a longer period of time, and would be more inclined to try not to get itself stuck into places where it doesn't belong. Thus, using the tag is more or less your support system. You know, it's a little more expensive. You're hitting up about, what, 50, 55, 54 more points compared to the standard version. But, you know, not bad. It gets the job done. Then we have the SRM version. Now, this is an interesting little twist of fate here. Now, this one comes in at 430 battle value. So, yes, you got a major increase, but the interesting thing is that this one strips everything off of it and replaces everything you have. So it gets rid of the Beagle probe, it gets rid of the medium laser. So you have 6 SRM2s with a ton of ammunition. So this way, this is more or less something that you could use as a crit hunting, fast-moving attack vehicle. As your other forces, maybe you'd have 1 or 2 of these at your disposal, and you're able to, you know, punch a few holes into, say, a mech or 2, and then you run a couple of these up, and you're just shooting SRMs at them, and, you know, getting between 6 to 12 2-point shots, you know, hitting, and you're doing the crit hunting with it. So you can maneuver quickly into a flank that's open and using those SRMs to good effect. But that means it's necessary for you to actually get close enough to start shooting with those things. But that's the same thing as with having the medium laser. But you're going to get a little over 8 turns of shooting with one of these before the ammo bay goes dry. So in some ways, will the Centipede still be around in 8 turns? It's hard to say. Probably not. You know, typically most hovercraft, all it takes is one good hit, and you know, you lose an air skirt or 2, and then it slows down, and then it just gets obliterated afterwards. So I'd say that's probably more than enough ammunition for it. And if you're really so inclined, you maybe drop one of the SRM6 or SRM2 launchers, drop it down to 5, and then you have an extra ton there. And maybe have 2 tons of ammunition for maybe having standard and maybe Inferno, throwing some little bit of heats towards somebody, going that route as a possibility. Not to mention, Inferno rounds really work good versus vehicles, because then you're rolling on the crit table there, so they're not designed to handle that kind of heat output. Then we have the Commando version. This variant of the Centipede carries 4 tons of glazed armor for protection, you know, which works good against energy weapons. It kind of degrades the energy weapon signature. And then you have a Guardian ECM as well. So you got a little bit more armor, but it's a slightly increase in armor, and you got the Guardian ECM. And then it's also equipped with an armored motive system, which protects those air skirts from being hammered too hard, which is, like I just said, you know, it's the downfall of all hovercraft. Is like all it takes is getting hit in the flanks by any type of weapon, and it increases your shot of taking motive hits. And there's been many times where you just turn a hovercraft into a mobility kill. Because if you play it where you don't have esprit de corps, anything that, like a vehicle that gets motive killed, you know, their crew will bail out. So that's how we always play it. Okay, then the standard weapons were replaced by a pair of turret-mounted mag shots. These ballistic weapons allow the power using. They're kind of like little Gauss rifles, but they're not. You don't see these things too often. Let's see. They have, well, let's see, they shoot out to 9. I do know that much. They don't, you don't see them very often on anything, really. Let's see. 50 shots per ton, goes out to 9, and I don't remember exactly the yeah, it's like a machine gun. Okay, so shoots out to 9, do 2 points of damage. So just kind of a longer range machine gun, and it cost you, I think, a ton. I think they're 2 tons a piece. Yeah, or something like that. A little heavy, but you know, gives you a little bit of capability to shoot out at distance. But you're not going to probably see those too often. Most likely, to be honest, you'd be using the tag version more often, and using the capability of, especially if you're running any type of artillery, you know, having a tag would be nice, or using any type of follow-on type of support mechs for that, or even vehicles, so you can lock onto a target and just hammer away with them, get some bonuses. But that's pretty much it. That's the Centipede in a nutshell. It's not a bad little cheap vehicle. If you want to use it, give it a shot. See what now. Some people may have used these already. If you got any experience with them, let me know. What was your experience with them, and how did you use them? All right, this is Hellcrix. Hope you guys have a good one. Hellcrix out.